So before we get into this video, I just want y'all to know that my lash was up, okay? It was not on right. But I'm not gonna redo this video, so do as you will, say what you will. It was fucked up. Okay? Okay. What is up, you guys? It's me again. Your girl Key, Cheeks, whatever you decide you want to call me. Today I'm gonna tell you guys my labor and delivery story. Stressful. And I'm also gonna give you the 2-month update on me and my baby. Right there. This is long overdue. I was supposed to do this a long time ago. He is 7 weeks old now. But I've been going through a lot, so I haven't been able to do it like I wanted to. So let's just get into this story. So I had him when I was 36 weeks and 5 days. He was born 5 pounds, 3 ounces. So he was born early because I would say on like a Thursday night, Friday morning, I was having some issues. So I didn't know if I was leaking amniotic fluid or if I was just having some type of lady issues, you feel me? So I texted my mama and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning and I was like, I think I'm leaking. But then I'm in this mommy group chat for my pregnancy due date or whatever. And I told them and they were like, well, just put on a pad and see if it soaks or whatever. And if it doesn't, then you're good. It didn't soak. So over the course of the next few days, like it would be like a little bit, but it wouldn't be much. So I was thinking that it was just normal because I've never been that pregnant before. I had my daughter at 33 weeks. If you want that story, let me know. So over the course of a few days, I was telling my mom was worried. She wanted me to call my doctor, but I was like, I gotta go to the doctor on Wednesday anyway. So Wednesday comes around and I had to go to my high risk doctor, which is where I get all of my ultrasounds. I had got an ultrasound once every month for my whole pregnancy. So I got there and it was a lady that I usually go to, and we were just talking and stuff like usual, and then we both just stopped talking and looked at the screen. And she was like, have you been leaking? I was like, look, girl, let me tell you. So I gave her the rundown of what had been happening over a few days or whatever. And she was like, okay, so yeah, you were definitely leaking because it's more baby than fluid. So from there, she was like, you only have, I think she said 5 centimeters of fluid or something like that. But it's supposed to be more than that. So she was like, I'm going to tell the doctor's going to come talk to you and let you know if they're going to send you in to have the baby. So I went in this other room. I was sitting there and I had called my friend Tiny or whatever because I had sent them all the same message, and I think she called me, I'm not sure. So I was sitting in there talking to her. Then the doctor comes in and she's like, okay, so you definitely don't have enough amniotic fluid, so I'm gonna call your doctor and see if they want you to come in today or if they want you to wait 2 days and then come in, because after 2 days, I would have been 37 weeks. So, or did I have him on a Thursday? Either way, he was 1 or 2 days premature. So she called my doctor or whatever. I'm still on the phone with Tiny, and she comes in and she's like, yeah, so your doctor wants you to have this baby today. And I was like, damn. Meanwhile, Tiny's in the phone screaming, excited and shit. So she tells me to hang tight, and she's like, yeah, so we're going to send you over. I'm going to give you some paperwork to take to them. So the way that the campus for the hospital is set up is the emergency room is right here. The labor and delivery building is like right here, but the building I was in was like right here, across from the hospital. So when I left there, I got another phone call from one of my homeboys. And he called me and he's like, what you doing? I was like, I'm finna go have a baby. He's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, I'm finna go have a baby. So then he was telling me what he was gonna tell me or whatever. And then I walked over there, and by the time I got to the top, his story was done or whatever. And he was like, yeah, so just let me know what they say. I'm like, okay, cool. So I check into triage, and then they tell me to wait. The lady comes out and gets me, and then they put me in a room, and she's like, can you give us a urine sample? I'm like, yeah, I can do that. So I did my urine sample. I waited, and then I was gonna start filming, but I was she came back in and she was like, yeah, we're probably gonna keep you for 2 days. I'm like, keep me for 2 days? I'm sorry, y'all, these lashes are bothering me. But yeah, she's like, we're probably gonna keep you for like 2 days and monitor your fluid. I'm like, okay. She's like, they're gonna come in, they're gonna draw some blood, and then they're gonna do another ultrasound. So they came in, they drew the blood, that was cool. And then they came back in the ultrasound, and she was talking to me about the ultrasound and everything. I was looking at, they're not allowed to tell you anything. So when she left out, the nurse came back in. She was like, yeah, so when you were at the doctor, you had 5 centimeters, and now you have like 4.9. So it's gradually going down. But when she had did a little test to see if I had any amniotic down there or whatever, and she said that it wasn't any. So she was like, maybe it's just passing through real fast, like coming straight out or whatever. So the doctor comes in and she's like, yeah, so I'm about to get ready to leave in a few hours, so we're gonna get your C-section done now. I'm like, now? So I called my mama. I'm like, yeah, so they said I'm gonna have the baby now. She was like, well, ask them if I have time to get there. So I asked them, I was like, does my mom have time to come? Because you only allow one visitor the whole time. It has to be the same person. So they said no. I had to do it by myself. I had to deliver my baby by myself. So the nurse was like, is your mom gonna be able to make it? I was like, no. She's like 45 minutes to an hour away, because I delivered in Decatur, Georgia, and my mama works in Gwinnett. So she was like, okay, don't worry. I'm going to be your big sister today. I'm your sister. You are my little sister. I'm going to take care of you. I'm like, okay. So she's like, okay, so get all your stuff. I'm like, we going now? She's like, yeah, you can walk, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, we're going to walk over there. I'm going to walk. So we walk over there, and then walking, the nurses are sitting there. They're like, what kind of baby are we having today? And I was like, I'm having a boy. They was like, good. We got a little boy cousin on the way. So they were all real nice. They made me feel like I was around family, pretty much. And when I got in there, the anesthesiologist, he was cracking jokes and stuff. He took my blood pressure and everything. They made sure that I hadn't had any blood pressure issues the whole time. And then the person came in to do my spinal. He had all the jokes in the world. And then they were basically like, yeah, just pretend like you at a family cookout. We all family. So they did my spinal, and when he did it, I could feel like this whole body pulsate. So he was like, do you feel that on your left side or straight through the middle? And I'm like, I feel it more on the left. And he's like, okay. So he pulls it out and he does it again. He's like, what about now? I was like, it's good now. So then next thing you know, everybody starts coming in. They called the NICU team just in case he was really, really small. I can insert pictures of everything too. So they called the NICU team just in case he was small. And then after he got the spinal anesthesia in, he said, okay, you gotta hurry up and lay down. Lay down, put your arms out like this, and lift up your knees. I was like, okay. He's like, hurry up, because after this, you're not gonna be able to feel nothing. So as soon as I laid down and I did like this, I couldn't feel my legs no more. I can't feel nothing from the neck down at all. They didn't even check to see if I could feel it, because I believe once you have your legs up with your knees up, and then once your legs fall, it's like you don't know if your legs are up or not. So I was laying there. They were like, you're good? I'm like, yeah, but I couldn't breathe. So they had the oxygen in your nose. So I asked him if he could turn it down because I couldn't breathe. So he was like, yeah, I can turn it down a little bit, but I'm glad you said something, because sometimes it is flowing too fast for people to feel like they can breathe. But it's also, he said, you also feel like there's someone sitting on your chest. I was like, yeah, I definitely feel like someone's sitting on my chest. So I started like feeling, you can feel them like moving things inside of you. And then I felt like the more heavy set person, it felt like he was like pushing on my body. And come to find out, my baby was so small that he was like hiding in the crevices type thing. So he was pushing down and I could feel it, and it made me feel like I couldn't breathe. And then I felt a relief. And when I felt that relief, I didn't hear anybody say anything for a split second or whatever. And then I heard him cry. Hearing him cry made me cry because y'all just don't know. I went through so much to have that baby. Like, I was sick. I was scared that what happened with my first child was going to happen with this child. I did it alone. I did my whole pregnancy alone, besides my family. The rest was just me. So they put him over the little curtain so I could see him, and he's just like this little small purple baby doll. And he's just crying, just screaming. I'm like, okay, he's mad. He's mad. So they sewed me back up and everything. They asked me if I was okay. And they was like, you want to hold your baby to go back to the room? I'm like, yeah. So I'm thinking I'm gonna hold him. Girl, they just laid him straight across me and wheeled me to recovery. So I had my my sister. My sister had my phone. And she had been taking pictures and everything. So when we got to recovery, I was like, hey, can I get my phone so I can text my mama? She was like, yeah. So I texted my mom, and my mom had texted me and told me she was here. I was like, where? I was like, they just pulled me out of the surgery or whatever. So then she was like, well, they put me in the waiting room. So I was like, can you get my mom? She was like, yeah. So like 2 seconds later, here comes my mom. My mom was just like, she fell in love with that baby instantly. So I was filling her in and everything. Like I said, he's 5 pounds, 3 ounces, 17 inches long, and purple. Fun fact, I was born with 12 fingers. He was born with 12 fingers. My daughter was born with 11. So we had a whole discussion about that because the nurse thought it was interesting. And then I think I stayed there for about 2 hours. And then they moved me to a room. When I got to my room, my mama stayed for a little while, and then she had to leave because she had to go to work the next morning. And so from there, everything kind of got sad. My mom had to leave. I was there with the baby. The nursery was closed because of COVID. I couldn't call anybody else to come up there because of COVID. I was there by myself. So the nurse that I had that night was real nice. I don't remember her name, but she was real nice. And she made sure I was comfortable. They were giving me Tylenol 800, regular stuff. I don't like to take pain pills. So I didn't, for the most part. They did have, between exchanges of the nurses, they come in, they tell the other nurse to run down. And between the exchange of nurses, they did get some stuff wrong. But besides that, it was pretty good. When I got to my room, they had graham crackers and saltine crackers and I want to say apple juice on the table so that I could eat because it was pretty late. Dinner had already been served. So I couldn't eat until the next morning at breakfast. Breakfast was not good, but I was hungry. So I put some salt and pepper on it and I ate it. Lunch was not good. Dinner was not good, but I ate it. I only spent 2 days in the hospital because COVID. So the day that I got ready to leave, they did circumcise my son. And that was not really a hard process for him. Not for him because he didn't cry until he did his first pee after getting circumcised. And that didn't even last long itself. So they monitor your baby for 2 hours to make sure that he's not bleeding before anything else. Usually they do 12 so that they make sure those 2 hours he's not bleeding, and then they change his dressings on his penis, and then the next day you go home. But the day that I got ready, well, the day that they did his circumcision, it was nighttime when they did it, and she said that she had 6 women about to push and I think 3 C-sections. So she was like, are you ready to go home? I was like, yeah, but the nurse said I'm not. She was like, do you feel like you're ready to go home? I was like, yeah. She said, okay, well, call your mom and tell her to come get you at 9. So I went home at 9. I had him on, what day is it? I had him on Wednesday at 6. And I left Friday at 9. And then, of course, you're supposed to get your baby seen by the pediatrician between 24 and 48 hours. He didn't go until that following Wednesday. He was a week old when he finally went to the doctor because we had to get squeezed in and everything. And his insurance was weird. So all in all, my experience was not that bad. It was okay, besides the fact that I did it by myself. My C-section was not that bad. My recovery was not that bad. I can do a recovery video with some tips and things like that for people who are also having C-sections, because it can be hard, but it can be made easy. The best thing you can do is just do what you're supposed to do. Don't try to just tough through it like I did. And as far as the 2-month update, last time we went to the doctor, he was already 6 pounds because he had gained 1 pound within 2 weeks. He had already gained 1 inch because he was 18 inches at the doctor's appointment. They did to get his fingers right, so now he has 10 fingers. We've switched milk. Milk is not okay for him, so I try to breastfeed most of the time because he does not like formula, or his body don't like formula anyway. He was wearing preemie clothes up until last week. Now he's finally fitting newborn. He's not chunky. He's kind of skinny, but he can fit his clothes now. He is very mean. Very, very mean. He never smiles unless he's sleeping. And he's spoiled rotten. That's my baby though. His sister loves him. She feels like she's his protector. If he's crying, she tries to give him his pacifier. If the sun is in his face, she'll look at the little sun visor on the car seat. She'll complain that the sun is in his face. She'll complain that he's crying and nobody's helping him. She does not play about her little brother. But that is all for this video, you guys. That is my sad, boring labor and delivery story. I will be back with a C-section recovery video with some tips and tricks. I did not do a what's in my hospital bag because there was nothing in my hospital bag. And when we did put stuff in my hospital bag, I didn't use none of it. I didn't use anything in the hospital except for his clothes and my clothes when I got ready to leave. I didn't wear any of my clothes in the hospital. But that is it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you watched this far, thank you.